two dope dudes, bringing you the news, leading you to much success with all their insightful views. Do you grow yourself or buy from the top shelf? Are you here to take the reins and gain back your health? Whatever it is, you know the biz. Leave a light, crack a pipe, and let's get on with it. If you want to acquire the knowledge, you don't have to go to college. You can just come hang with Aaron and Dave.
Yo, welcome to the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes. We are your source for Midwest cannabis news, culture, and more. I'm Aaron.
I'm Dave.
We are the Two Dope Dudes. What's going on, dude? Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, brother.
Yeah, bro.
Are you keeping your New Year's resolutions? You got any good ones?
No, I never do New Year's resolutions. I'm the kind of person that if I want to change, I just change.
New day resolution.
New day resolution. Like,
Yeah.
It's just like I quit vaping not long ago. I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And then I did it. That's just how it is.
I respect that.
It's I've always said that I am lucky that I can quit things out of spite very easily. So when I want to change something, I will change it, and I'm very resolute in that. So
Nice.
Not everybody is that lucky, and I'm not holding it over anybody.
Yeah. No, I'm getting some more CBD. I'm gonna, we're gonna try our best to stay focused and healthy this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be my resolution. Maybe I should resolve to take more CBD this year. I think that's probably. I think that'll be my resolution.
And dude,
I like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for it. I can't wait, honestly.
Oh yeah. Well, we got a fun show today. Like I think we said in last week's episode, this is a little bit of a pre-record because Dave's on vacation. But we thought we would do some cool stuff this year and talk about the laws in all the states that are changing for cannabis and recreational cannabis, medical and recreational cannabis, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has been, 2025 has been a lot of fun. And by fun, I mean a roller coaster.
Closing of the cannabis industry in one way and the opening of another in another way.
Yeah, there's like a weird
definitely a changing point.
Yeah, it's again just a new wave of interpretation of what cannabis means, and I always will try my best to interpret that alongside this lovely guy here, so that you don't have to be confused over the matters.
Yeah,
because
we're trying to bring some clarity to you in a world of uncertainty. We're trying to bring a little bit of clarity to the cannabis space for you.
Just the ability to stay malleable.
Yeah.
Change on the go.
Yep.
Because every day is something new. One day they're talking about hemp, the next day they're talking about cannabis, the next day they're talking about scrometing. We don't know what's happening in this place anymore. But
I mean, it's hard. It's really hard because they really bombard you with a lot of different avenues of propaganda and talking points and specialized conversations that lead you to think one way or another.
And it's what triggers you, but that's what I think my whole thing is, like, stop being triggered by any of it.
Yeah.
Take some CBD, let those things just be thinking points where you go, okay, multiple interpretations of how does this best suit me? A lot of people, we're in that middle realm of things where I talk a lot about like health and like how to take care of your health. A lot more of the people doing it on the ground, kicking ass and, making monies and shit too. And I obviously know the industry, the state stuff. I know some hemp stuff too. You know a lot of the hemp stuff. So like between both of those avenues, like there is a truth in the middle
Yeah.
that is like, you know, love yourself.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. You know, just like cannabis has been forever. Maybe
That's
we
right.
just stay cool. Just stay cool, bro.
Yeah.
And if you're not super flashy and you're not in everybody's face, then you're
right.
not the one poking the bear.
That's
But there
right.
are people that can't help but to do anything else but scream from mountaintops and try to yell at bears. And then all of a sudden, that bear shows up with lasers on it, dude. You're screwed.
Yeah, dude. Nobody likes bears with lasers.
Laser guided missiles, even, dude.
I mean,
They don't even have to be close.
It's getting crazy out there.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy out there. All right, I'll load this Puffco here real quick before we get into it. We got all the so what we got going on today is we got all the laws that are changing. Probably not a comprehensive list, but as intricate as we could find. We have.
I really like this source of what you did find because, yeah.
I mean, I only had so much time, and luckily, this is what AI is good at: is gathering sources and materials and stuff like that. And it's helped me find some really fun stuff. And I found this from the American Healthy Alternatives Association, their weekly policy report for December 2017. And so this has a bunch of laws and lists of the ever-changing landscape of cannabis. Sorry, as I load this Puffco.
Yeah. I see. So like, there's some other things inside of here, but what I'm seeing the most is a lot of it's change no matter what. I was going to say progression, but that's the misuse of a word because sometimes some of these things that they're doing to change what's going on is maybe it's not as beneficial, but who is it not beneficial to? So we'll kind of cover all of that too, and or at least what I think of it, because
Absolutely.
yeah.
So here's some. This is a report that gets put out by the American Healthy Alternatives Association, and it's just kind of a rundown. It's a rundown of what's going on. I thought it was interesting. The Wisconsin Hemp Product Safety Initiative. This is hemp industry regulation. We'll do a couple of these real quick, and then get into the other ones. Wisconsin introduces comprehensive hemp-derived cannabinoid regulations requiring mandatory independent lab testing, certifications of analysis via QR codes, and child-resistant packaging. The bill prohibits sale to individuals under 21, establish THC limits, and authorize unannounced department inspections. AB 747 shows 95% floor vote likelihood with 33% assembly passage and 51% Senate passage rates.
Dude,
So they're trying to pass. There is at least movement in Wisconsin about hemp.
It's very cool to see the first one of these where it's like, screw the federal new regulation of 4 milligrams per package. Like our shit says 10 milligrams per serving for beverages.
Right.
And now if somebody strikes that into law, because, whatever goes on in Wisconsin, they strike that into law, there becomes a level of interpretation to it per serving. Well, a bottle of alcohol has how many servings in it, right? A bag of potato chips has how many servings in it, right? Like, so a single can have how many servings in it. And if we say that this is 10 servings on the side of it, because we want you to take it into 10 milligram, So I'm just pumped that there, and again, this is what I've been saying to everybody for a long time. Wait until it starts to hit at the state level too, but like just there's a whole unwinding that needs to go into what does hemp mean, and I guess from state to state, right? Because even when the federal guidelines say 4 milligrams, some states are going to allow you 10. And I don't necessarily know that the DEA or any of the three letters is going in to disrupt some state program like this, right? So good to see that movement from me. That's my thought.
Agreed. Michigan also did an industrial hemp licensing overhaul. This restructured industrial hemp regulations with new licensing categories for processors, brokers, and wholesalers. It's a low state license fee. Just talks about what the price is. And there was 4 bills that 95% show floor vote probability, but low passage rates. But there's 4 bills that tried to happen in Michigan this year. Hawaii's hemp program expansion. They introduced a bunch of hemp-related bills, including tax credits for construction using Hawaii-grown hemp, which is fantastic.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's the kind of stuff I want to see from the state.
I want a hempcrete house so bad.
You know, the problem with it is the labor to do it.
No, I know.
No, I mean, yeah, you know too.
I want a 3D hempcrete printed house.
I mean, yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah, with hemp insulation. It's gonna be like fireproof, but there's only gonna be fire inside, if you know what I mean. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was really
Well, show me some fire hemp, please.
No.
I have not had much. I won't say I haven't had any, but I haven't had much.
Bro, I promise you, like, that cat that I know, and then also, like, without naming names, it's a friend of mine.
No, I've had
he
some.
Was literally just getting fucking fat packs of just anything that was under the testing rate, right? And like under the testing rate is still unbelievably good cannabis if you have connections to unbelievably good cannabis. And like, right, like the price was different. There was categories of prices that were going on.
Levels.
And like, but bro, that's what I'm saying. Like I saw some things that boys were pushing as hemp that I was like, holy cow.
So Hawaii is expected to have legalization in 2026. We're starting to get into what's changing for 2026. Now, this was movement in 2025, but they've gone back and they have figured some of the stuff out, and it is looking like it is going to pass in 2026. They both propose adult use cannabis legalization effective January 1st, 2026. Legalization establishes a Hawaii Cannabis and Hemp Office, implements a social equity grant program for communities impacted by prohibition, and creates a 14% tax on retail sales, 4% on medical. Notable provisions include craft cannabis dispensary licenses for legacy growers and public safety grant programs. Both bills show strong passage likelihood with 95% chamber passage rates. Now,
that's cool.
It is very cool.
Yeah, I anywhere that continues to allow the adult use of cannabis, you're changing the normalness of this thing. It's normalizing this, and if your parents, just do the thing, then I just do the thing too when I grow up. So right, and it's not that you have to do cannabis. I don't really care about that. It's that they did it, and I, do or don't or whatever.
I mean, yeah.
It's like drinking. I think it's just a normalization of it.
And it's amazing how normalized it is now, isn't it?
It's been a long time, and I promise you, I've been pulled over, interacted with the cops but also in work settings too. It's been a very long time since I've run into a dickhead cop when it comes to cannabis, right? Like,
Sure.
I think everybody has just been like, oh, and then you start to talk to me and I go, listen, I work in the industry.
Right.
I actually care about this thing far more as medication than I do.
Than just being, I want to get high. I'm a stoner.
Yeah, and we
which
can
is
talk
great,
cannabis
but,
all
like,
day. I weekend school, but yeah, I haven't run into much of that.
I like talking to one of my doctors about if cannabis would help his back pain.
I talk to every doctor that I've ever can get and sit in front of the face of now. Cannabis comes out of my conversation 100% of the time. And
Nice.
a lot of times I'm getting very good reciprocation. And, I mean, I've only been to maybe 5 different humans that I would consider doctors for different things recently. And
What
anytime.
about Dr. Danknugs?
Oh,
Shout out Dr. Danknugs.
shit. Yeah. There's way better doctors in the community, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Feelgood and Dr. Danknugs.
He's the one to call.
Florida expands opioid alternative pathways. Florida bill expands medical marijuana access for patients prescribed opioid medications, shifts renewal cycles from annual to biannual, and waives fees for honorably discharged veterans. That's all fantastic.
Yeah.
This legislation permits telehealth evaluations without initial in-person visits. Fantastic. And allows physicians to certify specific supply amounts. Fantastic. That is the very least of what the medical patients should have access to.
Yeah.
Like, that's all very common sense. It looks like forecast shows 41% plural vote likelihood in both chambers. We'll see. Massachusetts, which aren't they? They are also trying to end isn't there a petition to end Massachusetts recreational, I believe.
Was
Maine,
it them or Maryland?
No, Maine. Is it Maine and Maryland or Maine and Massachusetts?
I don't know. Was some of them Eastern M's?
Yeah. Well, I know Maine for sure. Yes, Massachusetts repeal initiative on the ballot. That is the one of the states where stuff changes. So Massachusetts right now has a repeal initiative on the ballot. That is also the state that Truly pulled out of because they had that cannabis death from inhalation. The person working in the pre-roll department, they did not wear masks. And so it was repeated inhalation of particulate in like a commercial area. So, and I believe they had previously had some sort of lung disease or something like that, I think was reported. So there is an initiative in Massachusetts right now and Maine to repeal. And I don't know, that might actually be a good thing. So,
I mean, according to some perspectives you and I have talked about lately, like recriminalizing this.
And that's for recreational. That's for for adult use, not for medical use, but for adult use.
Yes, it would. So possession laws, as long as they stayed in place, getting rid of the markets is, I think, more my thought process there. As long as they stayed the same, and then you just force people, if they wanted to purchase cannabis, to get a medical card, every single person, and then like each state would just make, to skirt that, would just make general anxiety a qualifying condition, and then every person in the world, as long as it was from a medical doctor, could just get the thing.
So right here, the Massachusetts Attorney General Office has released, this is from like August 2025. So the Massachusetts Attorney General's Office has released 47 proposed ballot initiatives for 2026, including 2 that would repeal the state's adult use cannabis market while preserving medical cannabis access and limited recreational possession. The proposals would eliminate retail sales and home cultivation, impose THC potency limits on medical products, and continue to allow adults to possess up to 1 ounce of cannabis,
Boom. Bingo.
basically
Bingo.
decriminalizing it, which
Bingo.
is the correct thing to do.
Yeah, decriminalization,
Yeah.
and then allow medical access, adult use. And this is like everybody's like, well, I want to go to the dispensary. Well, that's fine. Like other places still exist, whatever, but you're allowed an ounce of possession. And then everybody goes, well, it's got to be Massachusetts cannabis, or it's got to be Michigan cannabis or Illinois, and you got to have it in your own packaging, and that's it. Well, then just buy a package from your place and go get it from the other place. And how the hell is anybody telling you what is what? How is it supposed to be real or not real? Or, all of that is just, I don't know. It's a fear thing to make you like kind of stay within your borders. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think the adult use idea in the adult use market, though I'm not hating on it, it's been rolled out really bad. Like it doesn't work in a lot of places. Like we talk about all the time, it's just a framework for them to make taxes on. It's not like,
it's not necessarily it is, again, access to cannabis is important.
Yeah,
but we still have to do it in the right way, and you can do access to cannabis, and you can make it profitable for the state, and you can actually do both. But
you're not decriminalizing it any further by making adult use. If anything, you're making it more restrictive. And where, like in the medical setting, at least you can grow some plants at home. If it's adult use and we have this framework for this thing to come out and everybody can use it and stuff, but we're the only ones who can grow it and we're going to control it and package it and all, and you have to buy ours and you can only keep ours. That's not access to, that's restrictive access to. But again, I guess all access is fine. And that's why I say that. It's how this is interpreted. And I think breaking the framework to the point where it's like easier to at some day deschedule this thing altogether. Right. And like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer in what I'm saying. I think the interpretation is like, yeah, break the walls down that are like federal control. And I guess if you just want to leave it in the state's hands, leave it in the state's hands to keep it medical or allow it to be an adult use thing, where again, adult use is like allowing a framework for decriminalization. Like, use. If I have it in my possession, if I use it, how the fuck I got it shouldn't matter. What packaging it's sitting inside of, how many points per whatever shouldn't matter. It's fucking cannabis, and it's just you have possession of it, and it's okay for you to have possession of it because none of it is more, nuclear than the other. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, it's just about specific state control. It's always about state control. It's about, what they allow us and what they don't. Another one, the Virginia Medical Cannabis Program adjustments. This is some state-specific adjustments or developments. They have like basically a retail framework, and basically have finalized some rules for how to sell cannabis in Virginia in 2026. So it looks like they have their stuff going on. Finalizes regulations effective January 14, 2026 in response to a circuit clerk order. Changes include marketing restrictions, preventing minor appeal, universal packaging symbols, enhanced delivery protocols with GPS tracking, and stricter transportation time limits. Public comments accepted until February 14th, 2026.
Oh, that's weird. Stricter transportation time limits. As if that's the transportation company's like responsibility. Going into a drop off and then like how long the people take. I don't know. Some weird stuff.
So yeah, it says here from what is this, vpm.org. It's NPR website, I think. 5 years after Virginia lawmakers voted to allow marijuana possession in small amounts, they appear poised to finally let people 21 and over buy it recreationally.
Nice.
State Democrats are looking to open an adult use retail cannabis market by November 1st, 2026, according to a plan unveiled December 2nd by the Joint Commission to oversee the transition of the Commonwealth into a cannabis retail market.
Very cool.
So yeah, Virginia's going to get legalization here in 2026. So great
It's
for
funny
them.
as hell that like you're tightening down on the medical market, but then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, we'll let the adult market go about. That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe in them laying this framework for the medical market, the extra protocols and the stricter limits and whatever, perhaps that is like the framework they want to use for the adult use. And by pushing it through the medical side of things, then they already have the framework in place for the adult use thing.
I honestly, sorry, I was stuck reading off
Oh,
this
no, you're
list, making sure that we're going through. I was reading, there was one on Delaware, and then I put down they already have adult use sales.
Yes.
And then Minnesota already had, they legalized in 2013. Ohio, they're going to be changing here in 2026 with the Senate Bill 56 was a signed by DeWine. So that's going to be recriminalized.
Yeah. August 1st, Delaware became. Minnesota started September 16th. Yeah. Yeah. Virginia doing their thing is all next year too.
It looks like Arizona also has a repeal measure on the ballot. Like, do you think that's actually kind of crazy? Do you think that we're going to see more states try and repeal adult use in 2026?
Well, dude, if like in the last episode when we were talking about how many lawsuits are going to go out against the, the Trump signing thing. Anyway,
the
executive order.
reclassification.
Right. So it's the same thing. Like there is always going to be pushback from like the opposition groups, and they're going to make it a law thing. They're going to push it through the law. They're going to make all kinds of lawsuits and whatever. And like in a small way, yeah, I don't know. I think there is a way that some of the opposition starts to show its teeth a little bit harder, especially depending on what happens at the federal level.
I mean, so there's technically like 3 states right now that are trying to actually have adult use markets and are trying to repeal it by voter, like by signature gathering, which is kind of crazy. Like they're actually going out to the people that get signatures to say, this is why it's bad and this is why we should repeal it.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, I don't know their acceptance rates either, but like that's the whole thing is people are pushing the opposite way. Or as much as like we're all like, okay, progression is happening. No, change is happening. I do believe it can be in a progressive way, but some of these progressions are pushing harder against the other side, the opposition, and things can change. And I don't know. I don't see a lot of this. Maybe, I don't see a lot of it actually taking effect. I don't see a lot of states actually repealing adult use.
It seems like well, it's 2 on the East Coast and 1 on the West Coast, right?
I think maybe the scheduling would give both of their cases more fuel, especially for those who don't understand what cannabis use is altogether, and all the propaganda that's been pushed recently that like the rescheduling is changing something. It's going to all of a sudden make cannabis more medical, or it's going to make it this change of a substance, or the government, now that they got their hand in it, is going to be able to alter what it is so it's not so dangerous and they can make it so safe and whatever. Like, that is a propaganda push for people who are unwilling to look into the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and Trump is literally one of those people. Like, he doesn't look into any of the science or the math behind it. Take it as surface good as gold, and I'll listen to what my friends have to say about it. So the more that they push that agenda in certain places, it's going to make it easier for the populace to get behind reforms that would turn this more into a medical market, okay? Which, if the shift that pushes may allow it for, in the long term, something like big pharma to come in and take over those bigger manufacturing plants, and that's how they get their foothold in some of the markets. I mean, I think I'm going like tinfoil hat on it, but a lot of people are like, this is for big pharma to take over. I don't really think that's it. But I think that like the tug of war between what is medical, what is adult use, and I've talked about it for a long time. I hate recreational and medical might be one of the biggest fuckeries of wordplay that we use in cannabis. It is purely cannabis use. There's no in between for me, right? Like, and everything, like what I've preached to too is like prolonged use, which a lot of us, once we find it, we like it, we keep using it. There's a chance that it is a more of a medical purpose than it is a recreational purpose. I don't think you do it to get fucked up and go, oh, I'm drowning all my sorrows away in it, to a point where I'm so fucked up I don't remember anything, like we do inside of alcohol. I think that we use this more as a coping mechanism where we become, I mean, it's literally how it plays in the brain chemistry too, but we become more aware of our space and time and our ability to interact with things. And it helps our psychology stay away from the overworking, the anxieties or the depressions or the whatever. We stay more mentally present, but then at the same time, it really does help me sleep better. It really does help when I go, oh shit, my back hurts, or my, whatever. I rub stuff on topically. I use this thing in far more purposes than to go, oh, screw everything. And then my whole preach is that I've watched people use this thing to do what a lot of us would consider miraculous, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's otherworldly. It's like divine. There's something that just all of a sudden happened, but it's not that. It is the implication and the use of a plant. Like I said, the epilepsy change in people, the cancer change in people, some of these massive changes that have gone on, it isn't all of this. It isn't frameworks and who gets to be in charge of, who gets to make the next word.
That's not where the magic happens.
How many milligrams per package, standardized dosing. That's the whole fucking thing. Not one of us is a standard. No use of this thing is a standard. And again, they put arbitrary numbers on things like blood alcohol level that you're supposed to use 0.08 by alcohol volume, whatever the fuck. And that's only how intoxicated you could get. These bars are serving you to the like 0.3% toxicity levels and shit. And I'm not like trying to be some hater or whatever. It's that you will end up going out and doing whatever you're doing. They just have a framework to restrict you from doing it. Now, in the sense of alcohol, where people at massive rate both die from the consumption of and die from the intoxication of because of accidents or whatever. And granted, an accident, you didn't intend to do the shit.
Right.
It causes more accidents to happen. at the rate with which cannabis does that, it's far less. And like normalizing and making a greater access to this thing only allows for the standardization and the proper distribution of the knowledge that like don't take too fucking much of that
Right.
stuff.
Low and slow, baby.
Who goes into something brand new that they've never done before and like locks themselves in a leaf blower chamber where somebody just pumps you full of weed? Like that's not it, right? That's a different culture of this thing that shines when it comes to like who gets subscribers on Facebook and shit or
Right.
on YouTube. But like at the end of the day, what really is working for people who need access to this thing is just fucking access to it. And then just my other end of it is like criminalizing people for access to this thing when it can be used in such proper things, and is when it's used for improper reasons doesn't even cause that much harm. How do we still have this same mindset? And it's because of shit like this, some of it is progression, but
I mean, we probably. I mean, it's smart to have regulatory framework for it. It's smart. It would probably be smart for it not to be, so exact across the board. Because I mean, honestly, every state's going to have different things that they have to look forward to. But I'm glad we're at least getting some of it out of the way. But it's definitely not what's going to help us or what's going to change it into something better for us.
Oh, and again, we just keep saying like they're just making more framework to, I mean, literally to imprison people on at some point, because they're going, okay, here's the thresholds that we're allowing. We are allowing only thresholds of where I mean, as somebody who has been around it for an extended period and around so many other people who have used this thing.
Mm-hmm.
The toxicity of it doesn't even come close to what other things are. And like, yeah, I don't know. I just hope that all frameworks keep getting better to where people can just access a thing and people cannot be criminalized for possessing the thing or using it or, I mean, and I think out of all of it, not many people. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. Because it is wrong. It is. We just don't get criminalized a lot for the use of it, right?
Well, just because it hasn't, lately it hasn't been enforced doesn't mean it won't just start up. Just because we've been lucky the last fucking 12 years.
Yeah.
12 years since we've had like any real enforcement on the table for cannabis businesses.
Yeah.
I guess 12 years is a long time, but it's a short time too. Like for those of us who can actually remember when the enforcement was actually happening, back in the day, you could go to prison for years just for having a couple grams of cannabis.
Yeah.
Like literally, you would go to prison for a couple grams of cannabis. And there's still, I think that was getting shared out a couple weeks ago. Somebody had found there was a Playboy a document in Playboy magazine back in the 60s or 70s that listed all the enforcement times for cannabis.
Yeah.
And it was like 10 years, 5 to 10 years for under, 6 grams of cannabis and up to $5,000, which back in the 70s would be a hell of a lot. You know, and so like, enforcement is possible. Just because they're not doing it now doesn't mean they won't do it. Because it certainly seems like they're setting up the framework to do it.
Yeah, and I guess what really, my brain just went into a place where I was like, you know what? I always get so angry and like whatever. I'm not angry. I just wish that the change would come that makes sense for us just being humans and you're allowed to do what you want to do. But there are other places in this world where small, minor, minuscule possession of this thing still is punishable by death sentence.
I mean, that's absolutely correct. I think last week, speaking of death sentences or jail sentences, in Romania, Wiz Khalifa got sentenced to like 19 months in jail for smoking weed at a concert in Romania last year, and they convicted him of that without him even being there at court.
No way.
Swear to God. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
So he's like a. I mean, we're not. Is he there? No, he's here, right? We would never deport.
Oh no,
Wiz
he's here.
Khalifa.
Well,
Yeah,
we
we
don't
would-
know. Let's see here.
There's no way that we
No, I don't. I don't. At this point, I don't think they had. They had not issued a extradition. Let me find a better. Here. Romanian court sentences U.S. rapper Wiz Khalifa to 9 months for drug possession. A court in Romania sentenced American rapper Wiz Khalifa to 9 months in jail on drug possession charges. He was stopped by Romanian police in July 2024 after allegedly smoking cannabis on stage at the Beach Please festival in Constantinisti, a coastal resort in Constanța County. Prosecutors said the rapper, whose real name is Cameron Jabril Tamaz, was found in possession of more than 18 grams of cannabis and that he consumed some on stage. The Court of Appeal handed down the sentence after Khalifa was convicted of possession of dangerous drugs without right for personal consumption, according to Romania's national news agency, Agrpress. The decision is final. To what I say to the judges in Romania is kakat in Chuku, and that's just coming personally from me. The decision came after a lower court in Constantța County in April issued Khalifa a criminal fine of $830 for illegal possession of dangerous drugs, but prosecutors appealed the court's decision and sought a higher sentence. That's kind of crazy. They actually sought a higher sentence for him.
Yeah, I mean, that boy ain't going nowhere.
It
Just
isn't
don't
clear
go
whether
back to Romania, my
authorities will seek to file an extradition request since Khalifa is a U.S. citizen and doesn't reside in Romania. Yeah, that's awesome. He smoked a large hand-rolled cigarette while singing his hit "Young, Wild, and Free."
Wow, dude. Well, sorry, Romania. Your
well, like I said,
live performances are about to.
Yeah, to anybody to any of the judges in Romania, I say kakat in Chuku, and that's all the Romanian I know. And so, there you go. What do you think about that, Dave?
That is wild.
It is wild. It is wild.
Oh man, oh man.
So, I think,
dude, there's no way we fucking gave that Russian fucking arms dealer away for Brittany Griner, but we just hand over fucking Wiz Khalifa.
That'd be terrible. That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think that Wiz Khalifa for Brittany Griner is probably the best decision that we would ever make. I really don't think we'd deport him, but I mean, you never know.
No, hell no. That's weird, though, to think that like some other place thinks they want you to serve a prison sentence for 9 months, and we sentence you, you're already doing it no matter what.
I mean, I guess he's not coming back to Romania.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Or probably Europe. He probably can't go to anywhere that within Europe that has extradition now.
Well,
I mean, he might be banned from most of Europe.
Damn.
So,
I mean,
hey,
you know what? Better than 9 months.
So, do we have anything else going into 2026? We got Rhode Island's going to have adult use in 2026 right? We got Virginia expected to have going into 2026 medical cannabis.
Yeah. Q2 for Rhode Island.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of states, I guess. Florida,
And
Oklahoma.
then what's that?
Florida and Oklahoma. A
Yep.
couple of places have some major ballots going out for
There's
next
a
year.
lot of
Possible
initiatives
adult
going
use.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was our kind of clunky way to go through the changes of what's going on into 2026.
Yeah. I mean, there's a great you did a good job of putting this thing together here, and even with the help of AI or not, there's a lot of like big movements in
Yeah.
the law space of things that obviously, again, 2025 wrap up, the hemp bill,
Right.
the rescheduling,
Mm-hmm.
um, executive order, you know, tax changes going on in
I
a lot
think
of places.
2025 has been all about the taxes. If
Yeah.
I could summarize like 2025 in the cannabis market, it was all about the
Those three
framework for
events, really.
taxes, really.
It's
And
bingo.
it's been setting it all up for how to continue to tax it across state to state, and it maybe have a chance in the future to become a federal market.
Yeah, because
Honestly,
literally, even then, you're absolutely right. The executive order and the
Mhm.
fucking hemp reclassification really have a big tax implication. So, I mean, taxes do play a big factor in this thing. And we did see a lot of changes going on. Some pushback too, like California.
California tried to do their 19% tax. That was actually I think we went through it, and it was auto written into the law that when they started losing money for 6 months in a row or something, it would automatically go up, and Gavin Newsom actually ended up bringing it back down to 15%, right?
I think, yeah.
They did expand the cannabis cafes though, which was a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think Missouri is trying to do that too.
Oh man, I just thought about too, like there was a massive change in our cannabis market in Illinois. There were a ton of dispensaries that came on board this year, like an astronomical ton of them. And a lot of them were because the licenses needed to be executed by what was it, like a year after the issuance date or something, whatever it was. But yeah, so there was a lot of that came out this year. It's been a wild, like 2025 has been a wild bit.
So what do you think is going to come in 2026, and secondarily, what would you actually like to see in 2026? What would be like your wish list, and what do you think we'll actually see?
I think the
You can
things
give
that
like
I
a
will
baby prediction.
and I would love to have predictive, but I think more like the things that I'm looking forward to, or the things that I think are the biggest and I will keep my eyes on the closest, are both obviously, and it's no doubt, like the rescheduling thing has a huge implication. And we talked about it, where what is the time frame for this thing? Is it fast? Do they catch a lot of lawsuits against? How does that play out? I think that there's a possibility things get worked. Nothing in government is fast, right? But the hemp thing, they had 90 days to reclassify or talk about what cannabinoids are supposed to mean, like which cannabinoids mean what, and which ones are synthetic and which ones aren't, and which ones can they produce and can't they produce in the hemp space. And I don't think I've heard a word about it yet. Like, there's not been a single thing that's come up on it. It was supposed to be a 90-day deadline. We also had 365 days before this thing was supposed to take overall effect.
And we're already seeing states that are just absolutely banning it right out now.
Jumping off the deep end and trying to ban, but then not
even
really
waiting for the process,
understanding what it means. And so I think that we see a lot more confusion and a lot more just overall fuckery where the state tries to, and not just our state, but all states and even the federal government try to navigate this framework within each individual entity's, frameworks, so like, and it's just going to be wild to see how it all kind of shakes out. Who allows for better processes to happen? I don't know. I think that the fight
might be what I'm most hopeful for is seeing how everything plays out in each state and which state actually comes off better off than the others.
Yeah,
because there's definitely some competing frameworks and laws in different regions in this country. Some areas do it one way, the South and the West does it another way. The Midwest kind of does it one way, and the East Coast does it another way to a point,
Yeah, there definitely already is that.
Yeah. So.
But I think really I think for me it's a debate of what is hemp and what is cannabis. I think finding out what they claim that is.
I like that.
Hemp cannabinoids, right? Like,
sure.
Because, and then like now they're trying to do a federal framework, and then like when they did that, they only said CBD. Really, a lot of times they did say THC in it. There's no doubt about it. But like, okay, we understand you're trying to be the less psychoactive, but you're discrediting the hell out of what THC is, and hemp already is discrediting what THC is. So what framework allows for, when every framework in every state is some heavy predominant THC pushing machine? Well, what the hell does that mean for these other things? Like,
well, I mean, that's why you see, I mean, everybody that probably watches the show already knows that the vape cart thing is the garbage recycling of the industry, right? And for the most part,
most of it,
right? I'm speaking generally. For the most part, okay. And we also know that states incentivize taxes by THC. That's what they've chosen. That's the measurement they've chosen to tax by. So therefore, they've incentivized companies to use the recycling program to push high THC products. And we are seeing more and more recalls of the vape market. I think my thought is in 2026 we will continue to see more and more recalls of the recycling programs in cannabis, and we will begin to understand more how harmful that can be for people. Because there was a report not long ago that Michigan had 500 recalls across the state.
But it's the additives going into these things, right? It's not, because distillate is boring and annoying and like whatever, but like
it's not the distillate. Distillate's not the problem. It's the source material.
Yeah, but even then, like in distillation, we're typically destroying most of that. Outside of, could it be super pesticide driven, where there is some level of pesticide?
Yes,
that
heavy metals, pesticides,
around
et cetera,
in the residual solid. But distillation
should,
in essence, if you have a good system, which a lot of these places like to get a good distillation system costs money, dude. Like glass is so expensive to get the thing to go. The process isn't going to allow for like heavy metals and shit to be there. That's a remediation. You're taking all of that shit out. So it's not that it's a bad thing as much as, like you said, like source product can suck. Regulations of what we put into the thing, where it's sapping up. Again, the cannabis plant, we understand, is good at sapping up heavy metals from whatever. That is probably not beneficial to, and taking an excessive amount of that, you have a better chance of doing that through bad flour, right?
Yeah.
Less through maybe distillation. But like you said, the distillation fuels some of the tax heavy
Correct.
implications, but also doesn't, because edibles are taxed at one of the lowest rates, and edibles are distillate products. But it's the idea that like 1 gram of distillate, 1,000 milligrams
Mhm.
of distillate, that is 90 something percent whatever pure, I have to sell for, and in Illinois it's still an astronomical amount, but it's like $60 or something like that. Let's
Yeah.
say on the high end, right?
Sure.
Or it's probably 30 now, like,
Sure,
right?
I
Like
would-
there's a lot of places
Well, yeah,
that
you
do
used to
it.
be able to get like $20 chocolate bars and stuff
But
back in the
that's
day. You
the
know,
other point.
right?
In the same thing where they are limited to only putting 100 milligrams of something
Mm-hmm.
into an edible, to get that same 1 gram, 1,000 milligrams, that's 10 100s.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cost you $200, right?
Yep.
And inside of the 10 packages of gummies, you get, I mean, what, $4 worth of gummies? You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like it's, or it's 10 pieces, right? Like a bag of gummy bears, you get 30 of 40 pieces in it. So like that, it's not that expensive of a cost of material. Packaging costs something, Mylar bags and whatever, that costs something. So there's extra in packaging, but the rate at which they're bringing in money
Mhm.
for that process, I mean, yeah, it definitely fuels the thing. Do we know that there's cleaner processes of extraction and more whole plant, hardy ways of getting something? Yes, but what was the growing process then? And there's so many like
I do
variables
like
in
that
it.
we've seen move towards hash rosin edibles in 2025 as well.
Well, I think it is because it's the full cannabis experience.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of us are missing out on a full whole plant cannabis experience
Mhm.
because we are so THC focused. You're getting a very boring aspect of this plant, especially when we're getting from states that are packaging product, keeping it on shelves
mean-
for a year plus whatever, and then you get back into this
We're-
very brittle,
We're doing the
dried
same
out.
with 2-year-old distillate and edibles that are currently on the market right now. You know, there's edibles on the market right now that are made with 2-year-old distillate,
Well, and that again,
like this
like
year.
storage of things isn't bad, right? If that thing is not exposed to oxygenation,
Sure.
if it's not exposed to massive temperature swings, I mean, I'd imagine that a lot of these places are storing that stuff inside of their walk-in freezers or whatever, and it's just sitting in a suspended state where it's not getting tampered with or whatever. Fine, you can store that product for a long time, and I'm not like hating on it as much, but like, yeah, just recycle the fuck out of it, and like,
Yeah.
but if they gave access to it, we wouldn't have to sit on bunches of
Right.
excess product. Or, yeah, I mean, we are a society of massive waste. We don't use all the stuff. Commercialization and like and capitalism doesn't really allow you to use the full life of everything, right? Like, so there is massive waste that goes on, and it happens in this market too. I'm pumped that like the recycling system kind of exists in a way, is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not super mad at it,
right.
but it sucks
I just think that we're going to see more recalls and more of a link between some of the ways the government or the states incentivize the companies to do things.
Yeah, well, and
that was really more my point. It's less about it being recycled or distillate. I was more using your words. You've said, it's the recycling program.
Oh, it is, and 100%. Yeah. I'm not against it as much, but it's also too, 100%. Like, yeah, I don't know. I want I want the access. Right?
Yeah.
I want everybody to have the access.
Yeah.
But I want people to have access to quality also. And I think, like, through what you're saying too, for the state to be incentivizing the wrong things, gaining tax, whatever, and, only making year runnable product or whatever, which is fine. Make it a shorter time frame. Personally, if you ask me, make them burn and turn the shit out of this stuff so that they have to reduce the price of the thing.
Right.
That would be huge. That would be a massive move in the way of the consumer. But it's not. It is all put to this taxation thing. It is all pushed to, like, allow for a capitalistic state, which is the recycling system, which pushes us further away from having access to the entourage effect, but to a full plant experience.
Yeah.
Full terpenes intact, full flavonoids intact, full cannabinoid profile. It doesn't really matter what the plant has. If it's THC, CBD, CBN, CBG, THCV, one of the 120 whatever recognized cannabinoids, I don't care. It is fucking cannabis use.
Right. And that's always been the basis of both of our advocacy for cannabis is access to cannabis. Everybody deserves access to cannabis. Anybody who wants to have access, and if they're an adult, they should have some avenue, whether it be me talking about grow your own, or if it's Dave, hey, you can go to the dispensary, you can go to your local dispensary, grandma, and you can get this very specific thing, and it's tested and it's safe and everybody uses it, and it's at a dispensary, so it's safe. That's where it comes from. Access to cannabis is what's most important.
Yeah, but it doesn't, because it's in those settings too, also, and you didn't say it for this purpose, but because grandma gets to go to this place that is, like, socially acceptable,
correct,
doesn't mean that cannabis is any more safe than the stuff that you're growing at home. Correct. And this is why the confusion of the thing, if we just broke down all fucking barriers and allowed there to be a competitive market where allow the plant to tell people what they want instead of forcing the people to know what they want based off of misrepresentation by both medical facilities, governmental bodies, propaganda, fucking whatever, commercialization for, intoxication, whatever. None of it is benefiting the progression of this plant or the human experience with it necessarily. The human experience is becoming one more of, I'm going to the store and I'm getting new shit and it's flavorful and look at the packaging of it and look at how
that's the Apple store of cannabis shit.
100%, dude. And go
it's
into
about the experience.
100%.
Because you don't have anything else.
But what is cannabis except for the interaction of me and that fucking plant? Right. So, like, if I can't smell it, then how am I interacting with it?
Right.
If the standardization or the mathematics that are behind it aren't anything standard and don't lean towards anything scientific or mathematical, then what the fuck benefit am I getting from it? If all I'm being pushed into purchasing on the recreational adult use side of it is this heavy intoxication from all this THC, and that's what incentivizes the state to do it because they get taxation from it, how the fuck is that beneficial? And that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, get rid of the rec market. It doesn't make much sense when that is the outcome of it. We are to me, the integrity of the plant is at risk. The long-term and integrity of the interaction of the human and this plant is massively at risk, especially if it's always pushed into this THC dominant thing and it's not recognized for the many other things that it has been beneficial to. And,
Right.
you know, cool movements have happened this year, but I think for me, when I hear about the movements, it then puts me into this place of like, it's not maybe rage or anger or anything, but it's like, how unaware are the movements that we're doing of like the long-term ramifications or the bigger picture of ramifications? And when ramifications mean, again, imprisonment, heavy taxation, like, who the fuck is it benefiting? And it isn't benefiting the consumer.
Nope.
You know,
And very few things are.
you become a slave to the ideas of, and you know, it kind of yeah. So as we always have and as we always will, I will advocate for the medicinal use of cannabis. Aaron will
Same.
advocate for the homegrown personal, you know.
Well, I'm a caregiver, so like it's still
and
medicinal use.
And I'm a bingo,
And-
right?
but
I'm not taking
I use it as a caregiver, medicinal use for my mental health.
Yeah,
I use the growing of the plant as a hobby, and then I'm also able to take care of my person, and I can
think it
provide
is-
them with medical cannabis.
Well, 100%. And it's not that because I've seen you in dispensaries before. You used to come to some that I
Sure.
worked at. It's not that you don't use the state-driven markets when you
Correct.
need to for the things that make sense to. Thank God that the access is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is a great way and a great means of you again taking this into your own hands and not relying so much on these markets where
Right.
all it is again like some level of again slavery to it. Just give me your money and give them the extra money because we're giving you the fancy packaging and whatever.
Right.
Like that shit is not what I am always about, right? Like or ever about really. But I would rather just see the people take their health into their own hands.
That's
I would
right.
rather see the people take their finances into their own hands. Stop leaving it up to these systems and markets that are who fucking knows what's going on. And as long as we have possession limits, understand your possession limits, know what the ramifications are for you having any more of it or any less of it and how you're able to transport it. And that's what we try to break down here so that there's no confusion. And, you know, if you ever have any questions, please feel free, drop it in the comments section. Let us know what you're confused about, what you'd like to hear perspective on. Because again, like I think what Aaron and I do a great job of is trying to be both sides of it.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't care up or down.
Right.
It's not benefiting the consumer, the patients. Okay. When I say consumer, everybody goes, whatever, you're just the potheads. But then just like Trump did, the second that it becomes a patient, when it's somebody that's sick and it's a friend or a relative or somebody that I know at least
when
by
it's somebody
vision,
that affects
I don't
you.
want to see them suffer. And if this is the thing that's making them not suffer, then I'm okay with it. So regardless of what it is the person that is consuming it, whatever their fucking purpose for consumption is. I want to see the normalization of it, and I want to see it done in a way where they actually are getting the best benefit from it, which means quality product, which means, you know, hopefully not fucking breaking your bank over it, right? Which has been a big problem. I watch a lot of people with very low fixed incomes who, even though the access is there, they don't really have access to the thing.
Right.
It's like a double-edged sword, and it probably cuts even harder for them to see that process go on. So I advocate for the normalization of this thing where, again, if they want to grow it in fields by the fucking bushel full, I don't give a shit if they would rather grow it indoors and protect it in certain ways. But just be transparent in what your processes are and make it so that at the end of the day, it doesn't cost a lot and people can ultimately, through the market, find what
Right.
they believe is the quality thing. And then also, hopefully, they have.
Have an informed decision about what it is you're consuming as well.
And that's it. Hopefully, they have listened to a conditional cannabis corner or two and found out those specific cannabinoids that generally benefit those processes.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of conditional cannabis corner,
You got some symptoms from your condition to help you feel better. That is my mission. At the conditional cannabis corner, you can get that information, and it won't even cost you a quarter.
All right, my friends, welcome in and thank you. I did the how to keep your New Year's resolution last year, and I think that we'll kind of piggyback on that. But I think also the big thing that I think conditionally and what we should be doing in this new year with while using our cannabis is to make sure that we are keeping hope. Okay. The optimism, I think, is hope. That's like, don't be consuming cannabis and getting grumpy and pissed off. What I hope you're doing is taking lower doses of THC and because when we do our inhalation, we can incrementally creep up to a place of comfort instead of just taking this rocket ship past where our level of comfort naturally would be. We can incrementally slowly get ourselves up to the place where we go, you know what? Fuck it all. And in fuck it all, I am optimistic. I don't want to sit here and be so damn angry and frumpy and, let this year be a year of progression, and a good way to do so, again, try some lower dose, get yourself up to your point instead of just blowing the roof off and always being so up here, like who gives a shit? Find your places of comfort, use some CBD this year, really help yourself stay in control. And CBD as the CB1 antagonist. Remember last week, I couldn't figure that one out either. It's an antagonist. Allow that thing to sit in there and help the trigger responses and help you kind of stay within the realm of comforts, right? Use it again. Hopefully you're still hitting the gym. You make that resolution for yourself. I'm going to go to the gym. Well, use cannabis to help you get there. There are properties of this plant that are uplifting, energetic, euphoric. They make you get out of your dirty routines of, oh, well, I'm no good at, and I'm, oh, heck, work and finances. Yeah, get out of that routine for a minute. Go take care of yourself. Hitting the gym's a beautiful thing. CBD will really help you kind of keep the edge off where you're not thinking those dirty thoughts. Some THC will kind of help boost the mood. Maybe a little sativa properties, right? Those limonene and things, but maybe a limonene, with a little linalool in it too. That little calm energy instead of that race for the hills spiked energy. Maybe we find a little combination of something that, and can you guys find those combinations? I don't know, right? It's hard a lot of times to find proper terpenoid values or terpenoid values that would make drastic impacts. But if you are that good and you have that level of access to cannabis, use these things to your benefit, okay? And but the biggest thing, use this thing for your benefit, for you to take care of you. All right. Look in the mirror and say, I am absolutely worth it. This is the year. This is the day. This is the moment All right, where I'm going to use this thing as a benefit and stop using it as the thing that's making me lazy or giving me the munchies or whatever, and use maybe the proper properties of it. And if you've had too much of it or you have too little of it or whatever it is, I hope you find your proper dose. And that's really what this whole thing is about, a proper dose for you individually. It's not going to be set by a federal standard. It's not going to be set by a state milligram per packaging standard. That is not how any of this is going to work. You are your own standards when it comes to this plant and how we use it. Understand that there are different properties to it. And if you ever want to know which one of those properties can help you and in which instance, you know where to find us, right in the comments section or me on a Thursday night. But I'm happy to always go back through some of the basics for consumption with you. All right. But until we talk then, you know, low and slow, who really cares? Fast and aggressive. As long as you look in the mirror and remember that this is for you and that you love yourself, and that once you've loved yourself, it's easier to spread out that good, positive shit outwardly than it is to be deteriorative outwardly. Let's make this a better year, one of connection and not one of contention. All right. That's it. I love y'all. Thanks for listening.
Love it. Fantastic.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, so thanks everybody for watching our New Year's episode, where we attempt to talk about some of the initiatives going into 2026, some of the states that have their laws changed, and as always,
And a lot of my feels on how things.
and a lot of Dave's feels, and mine too. Thanks for joining us on this journey, where we navigate the understanding of cannabis laws too, sometimes in real time. And we appreciate all of you. And I think for 2026, for all of our loyal listeners, if you could comment what you would like to see from the Two Dope Dudes in 2026, that's how you can help us. Tell us how we can help you. Help us help you.
And we might ask that for the whole next month. Every time that we do something, just keep asking, because it really is. We do this because we would love to help as many of you as we can with whatever level of knowledge of this thing that we can. Navigating the legal framework definitely puts us all on the same page, but there's many other aspects of this thing that, if you'd love to see us talk about it, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah. We love you all. Smoke weed every day. Peace.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go.